Hi, I'm so sorry. I know that I uploaded a video like last night or this morning, whenever it was. Um, I'm so sorry. Uh, Apparently I went to go tweet it to you, Katie, and Dr. Joe, but there was no sound on it. I don't know why. So I'm kinda redoing it and sort of, I guess, splicing it together with some of my thoughts that I have today. So, the original video was about this amazing book that I found that actually I found because of Dr. Lindsay Doe. If you don't know who she is the host of the amazing channel, Sex Positive Channel Sexplanations. Which is run by the incredible, nerdy, amazing, wonderful vlog brothers, John and Hank Green. And Dr. Lindsay Doe is a clinical sexologist, and she just is she's like Katie in the sense that she's very straightforward and fun and lighthearted with her topic, except that her topic is not mental health and psychology. It's sex and sexuality and healthy sex and gender equality and LGBT issues and all sorts of things, and that really, really interests me because obviously, well, I guess not so obviously to some people, but in order to be a clinical sexologist, you have to have a bachelor's in psychology. So, people who go into this field are psychology nerds. So this is something that interests me. And also just because I'm so excited whenever anything that is thought by society to be really, really, really negative, or just really, really, really bad, or taboo, or just don't talk about that, is like, brought out into the light and like talked about and like shown a light on. Like, one of my biggest passions in the entire world is stopping domestic violence and stopping child abuse, and it's like a huge, huge reason why I want to be a therapist. The two areas that I want to end up specializing in are trauma and eating disorders, and that's why, because those are two things that I personally have experience in, and I've personally watched friends of mine deal with those things. So I personally have, I've, I've got the t-shirt, got the bumper sticker, been to that horse race kind of a thing myself. And I've also got, watched friends deal with that. So, and I want to help people recover from those things. But so anyway, the book that Dr. Lindsay Doe recommended that I really got into was The Ultimate Guide to Sex and Disability. And this is not so much a literal guide to sex and disability, so much as it is, I guess not at the beginning anyway. I'm only in the 3rd chapter. So much as it is it's a very, very, very informative book. And it's it's very straightforward. It's not so informative that you're like, oh my gosh, this is way over my head. You know, it's not so informative that you feel like you have to have a degree to read it. It's very straightforward. It's very conversational. But what I love about it, you guys, is that 3 psychologists wrote it, number 1. Number 2, 2 of the 3 of them that wrote it are, one of them is disabled and the other one's chronically ill. And the third person that helped them write it works with disabled people and has a master's degree in psychology and like exclusively works with people who have disabilities. So this is like built around disabled people and what disabled people need, and the myths that society thinks about us, and the misconceptions and all of that. And I get really excited when disabled people do amazing stuff. And these disabled people that wrote this book are like amazing and smart, and oh my gosh, like it just makes my brain so happy. Like, oh my gosh, because literally I've honestly wondered, like, how is that gonna physically work? You know, how is that part of a relationship physically gonna work for me later on in my life? Because, you know, I have everything else physically works as far as, you know, menstruating and whatnot. But, like, my muscles don't work like an able-bodied person's muscles. So, you know, that's an issue. I'm so excited about it because it attacks what society thinks about us. It dispels myths. It looks at disabled people's self-esteem and what believing these ableist myths about ourselves does to our self-esteem as people, our self-esteem as a culture, and our self-esteem as sexual creatures. And then it takes that and it teaches us how to get around that and how to disprove that and how to kind of own our bodies. And it's a really great book. And I just, oh, you guys, you just need to read it, please. Just please read it. Yes, just please read it. Please read it. I haven't been this excited about a nonfiction book, and I can't remember the last time I was this excited about a nonfiction book. Well, Manfred's Diary. No, I wasn't even this excited about The Diary of a Young Girl, and that's my favorite book. Okay, so I'm a psychology nerd. We've established that by now, right? On this channel, we've established that by now. So I'm a total psychology nerd. So if you guys don't get into this, I'm totally fine with that. But I wanted to share some journal topics because the book is it's kind of sort of part book and part workbook. At the end of each chapter, there are questions. So I wanted to share some journal topics with you guys, and yes, this is my Little Mermaid journal. The end of the second chapter, let me find where the questions are. Oh yes, okay. Question number 1. Make a list of statements you could write after I am, For words that don't pertain to sexuality, write about how these impact your views on sexuality. Exercise 1B. Make a list of the groups others have put you into. Make a second list of the groups you think you belong to, and then indicate which ones you belong to. Make a list of the qualities you value about yourself and others. Make a list of the qualities you wish you didn't have. Make a third list of qualities people you admire have. How might have these qualities influenced their self-esteem? And those are just the first two exercises. Oh, and I'm sorry. And the third one is or the third part of the second one is amongst the list. One of the lists they want you to make is make a list of things people expect of you. And this part of it was actually really, really, really eye-opening for me. And I'm going to share part of the exercise that I did for this chapter. I'm going to share my I am statements. I am beautiful. I am a princess. I am God's princess. I am a Christian. I am a singer. I am a writer. I am a poet. I am creative. I am compassionate. I am loved. I am a great friend. And none of those, by the way, had anything to do with my eating disorder, or my PTSD, or my self-harm. So go and see how many of those you can write down that have nothing to do with your mental illness, or, whatever it is that you're struggling with. And then you can write it down in your recovery journal. And the other thing that's great about this, you guys, is that the groups, I just started writing down a bunch of labels. Like, I wrote down people have labeled me as disabled, chronically ill, depressed, crazy, overweight, mentally unstable, a cripple. I had all these negative things that people had labeled me as. I just wrote down everything that I could think of, and then I checked everything that I thought that I belonged to. And it ended up that I checked, most of the things that I checked were positive things. So that's something you can put in your recovery journal too. So check this book out. It's a great, great resource. It will help you. I promise, if you're disabled, it will definitely help you. If you're a caregiver of somebody who's disabled, it will definitely help you. If you're a friend of somebody who's disabled or chronically ill, it will help you kind of understand, your friend better, or your family member better. If you, are a therapist or a clinician who works with disabled people, it might help you understand, them as a whole person better. It just is a great, great, great book. Just please go get it. And Katie, the other thing I wanted to say, and thank you, Dr. Doe, by the way, thank you for this. I'm going to tweet this to both of you. Yay. Katie, the other thing I wanted to say about the positive and negative therapy thing, just quick thoughts for that. Don't give up. Don't think that any of you who've had a bad experience or are nervous about your first appointment, if you have a bad experience with a therapist, don't write off therapists just because you have a bad experience with one or two or three. I had really bad experiences with a few that were hired to get me out of a very dangerous situation. And they didn't. They did not help me at all. In fact, one of them made it worse, much worse. So it took me quite a while to admit that I needed any kind of help, and to admit that I needed therapy, and that, you know, this might be the way that, or at least partially the way that God wanted to heal me. But you guys, don't rule anything out, because there are good therapists and there are bad therapists, just like Katie said. And, you know, one, just like that old Osmond Brothers song, one bad apple doesn't spoil a whole bunch. You know? Try and keep trying. If you don't get success with individual therapists, go to group therapy. If you don't get success with group therapy, go to OP, or go to IOP, or go to PHP. Try every level of care humanly possible, because you deserve help. You deserve to get well. You can get well. God has a bigger plan for you than just suicidal ideation and depression and PTSD and eating disorders and self-harm and cutting and BPD and whatever else it is that you struggle with. Fill in the blank, you know, whatever thing that you struggle with. Yeah, so, and by the way, yeah, just don't cave. Don't cave. And I wanted to tell you, Katie, real quick before I go, there's a website called OperationBeautiful.com that is fabulous. You were talking about, in today's video, about things that people have told you that have helped them. Operation Beautiful is honestly one of the things that helped me the most in my early recovery, even before I started therapy. The idea is that you post anonymous positive messages on sticky notes in random public places for other women to find. Other women, other men, other people to find in random public places with the website there. www.operationbeautiful.com. And it's body positive. They work with Nita every year. I don't know if you know that, but they do. They have a couple of books out. They're incredible. The girls that run that website and are part of that organization are wonderful. I love, love, love them. They're amazing, and yeah, you need to check them out. I will tweet you this. We'll tweet Dr. this. Yeah, bye. Love you. Bye.